Good morning and welcome to our candidate forums. This is for SMD 2. This forum is being live streamed on our NEISD Council of PTA's Facebook page. PTA's mission is to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. The expectation of our audience today is that you listen respectfully to our moderator and candidates. No clapping, outbursts, or gestures. We encourage you to take pictures at this event and post them to your social media pages with the hashtag PTA votes. Bo Carrington is our moderator today. He is the founder of BCA Executive Consultants, a boutique executive coaching firm based here in San Antonio, is a C12 chairman with Central Texas C12 Group. Bo is active with several local and national nonprofit boards. He's graduated 2 daughters from NEISD, and his son is a sophomore with the district now. Bo is a 10-year U.S. Air Force veteran, having served in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and has been married to Connie for almost 34 years. We're so pleased that Bo could join us to moderate today, and I'll now hand things over to him.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. And just one quick correction. This is for SMD 1 today.
My apologies.
Just to make sure we got that on the record. So I want to start by thanking all of you for being here today, both in person and online. So you're all aware, all candidates who filed for NEISD Board Trustee Single Member District 1 were invited to participate, and those who indicated they would participate were provided with the questions ahead of time. Today, we have with us Michael Gerwitz and Lisa Thompson. Candidates, as for the rules today, I love being the one talking about rules. We ask each of you to respond directly to the content matter in the question that is posed. We ask that you not engage your fellow candidates and refrain from referencing other candidates' past statements. We want you to use your time to allow those that are present and viewing online to learn more about you. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for an opening statement, to answer each question, and to provide a closing statement at the end. There is a timekeeper to my right who will hold clipboard to help keep us on track today. Opening statements will be done in alphabetical order, and closing statements will be done in reverse alphabetical order, while speaking order for the questions is going to vary. Now, we've got all that squared away. It's time to have some fun. So, Michael, the floor is yours for opening statement.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Michael Gerwitz, and I'm a candidate for trustee in the NEISD Single Member District Number 1. Full disclosure, I was not born in Texas, but I did get here as soon as I could. Just took a while. I hope you won't hold that against me. There's a topic that I've discovered that concerns me greatly, and it doesn't seem to be on anyone else's radar at the moment. And if I don't mention it now in my sort of free time, I'm concerned that it won't be raised. So what I'd like to do is give you a quick thumbnail sketch of my background, and over the course of answering the questions and my closing statement, I'm sure we will flesh it out and you'll have a better sense of who I am and why I'm running. I have a math degree in mathematics from MIT. I was foolish enough to get 2 law degrees. One wasn't enough. Practiced business and tax law for over a decade. Then in 2003, I wised up, quit the legal practice, uprooted my family, moved from the San Francisco area to San Antonio, because I wanted to teach math, which is what I did for 18 and a half years until I retired at the end of 2021. Most of that time was at Northwest Vista College. To be continued. I can't say what I want to say in 15 seconds, so
Thank you, Michael. Lisa, the floor is yours.
Good morning, and thank you to the Council PTA for putting this on, and thank you to my friends and family for being here today, and other people who have taken time out of their day. My name is Lisa Thompson, and I am running for SMD 1. For the past 22 years, I have served in NEISD as a teacher, as a parent, or a volunteer, and I can 100% say without a doubt that this is my calling. Serving our children, I have a passion for education and for the well-being of our teachers, our families, our community. I understand completely as a parent the trust that is placed in our district each day for students' safety, education, and preparation as they move into the future. My personal teaching career began right here in Northeast. I was a student teacher at Oak Meadow Elementary. I was then hired at Jackson Keller Elementary, Stone Oak Elementary, Tuscany Heights Elementary, and West Avenue Elementary. And while I absolutely cherish everything about being in the classroom, my young children's need led me to the PTA route of volunteering. I have served as first vice president at Roosevelt High School, and I've also been the PTA president at Hidden Forest Elementary, Bradley Middle School, and just resigned as PTA president at Churchill High School to serve in this role. I've also served in other various positions along the way. I have served on the Northeast Council of PTAs, and I have remained connected to this district by subbing in the classroom, talking to teachers, teaching students, working with administrators. I've received a PTA honorary life member, I've received an extended service award, and I have received a superintendent's award for my contributions to this district. I say all of this because I want everyone to know that I have boots on the ground experience in this district, day in and day out. I know about the amazing things that we are doing.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Now, question number 1. Lisa, you'll be up to bat. You both expressed your desire to serve as a trustee for Northeast Independent ISD. Question is, what is one thing that you love about our district? Lisa?
Okay, I will say that there are a billion things that I love about this ISD. I've been here for a long time, but really it is the communications and the relationships that I have made, that my family has made, in the time that we have lived here. My children have received wonderful educations here. Their lifelong friends are their friends from school. My son is a freshman at UTSA. He lives over there on campus, but he still is hanging out with his buds from ETA over at Roosevelt, where he went to high school. My volleyball moms are my best friends. My Hidden Forest PTA moms and Bradley PTA moms are right here in the audience. I have also remained connected to my administrators. My best friends are teachers and parents. So the community that is built within this district is precious and it is far-reaching, and that is what I am proud of.
Thank you. Michael, what is one thing that you love about our district?
I'm very impressed by the diversity of opportunity. Folks hear me?
Restart.
Thank you. My personal EMF must be messing things up. So there's a tremendous diversity of situations for students to choose from parents to choose from in the district. And that's extremely impressive. I have to admit, I have a particular, perhaps jealousy for the cyber program at Roosevelt, because I was at the board meeting when they were given, they were acknowledged for their achievements. This is not the first time they've had these achievements. As a teacher, what I've observed about this program was the ultimate satisfaction that a teacher can achieve, is to have students who get engaged, who go beyond what they thought that they could do, who solve problems that they never knew that they could solve, who get to own their success, its legitimate success, and it's just incredibly empowering, and it's awesome to see as a teacher.
Thank you. Now, both of you have listed on the websites, or actually most of the candidates have listed on the websites, that you want to advocate for parental rights. So, Michael, this question goes to you first. Can you please explain what parental rights means to you and how a school board member implements those parental rights?
I'd like to start off by referencing some part of the Texas Education Code. Excuse me, I need my cheaters. So this is an area of the Texas Education Code, section 4001, which deals with the mission and objectives of public education in Texas. Success in public education is grounded on the conviction that a successful public education system is directly related to a strong, dedicated, and supportive family, and that parental involvement in the school is essential for the maximum educational achievement of a child. Then, when it lists the objectives of public education in Texas, number one, parents will be full partners with educators in the education of their children. So I believe that, well, parents are the first educators of their children. And the statute is just acknowledging the reality that parental involvement is critical for the maximum educational development of their children. What that means to me is that parents are entitled to be involved in educational decisions. I would also say that teachers should be involved in educational decisions. That doesn't mean that the board is going to just do what parents want to do, but they're an important voice that must always be considered. I've run out of time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Lisa, can you explain what parental rights means to you and how a school board member implements those parental rights?
First, I will say that I am a parent currently in the district, and I feel like as a parent, my rights are, I have everything that I need. Maybe there's a misperception by people that parents aren't having rights. If I want to know anything about my daughter's education, I log on to Skyward. I can see her grades, her graduation path, books she's checked out, what she had for lunch, her volunteer hours, and pretty much everything but her blood type. So if parents want to know about their child, it's a two-way street, and you do have to go in and seek that information. Every week, I read my email from Mr. Bloomer. Every week, I read my information from Dr. Micah. This two-way street exists. We do need parents. As a Churchill volunteer, I beg for volunteers to come shell books at our libraries. We do want parents in our school, and parents are in our schools. When I sub, I have a mom right there in the classroom for me, making copies, cutting out things that are needed. As a school board member, ensuring that parents have access to all those things, I would of course want that to continue, but this is a two-way street. Schools are giving information. Parents also need to read that correspondence and insert themselves into campuses.
Thank you. Thank you. So, question number 3. Lisa, we're going to start with you on this one. Public education is under attack, or at least it seems that way. What is your opinion on vouchers? And as a school board trustee, what will be your plan to have a presence, voice, and compelling message during the next legislative session?
I am firmly against vouchers. I don't think that a world coexists where you can have vouchers and say that you support public education at the same time. The voucher system would allow parents access to $8,000 to $10,000 of taxpayer money for whatever program they choose, and that program perhaps has no state oversight, whereas our ISDs have regulations and rules that we follow, and that is what makes us a level playing field. If even 10% of our NEISD families chose to use vouchers, we have a total enrollment of about 60,000 people. That's $60 million leaving our district. And so if you think budget things are trouble now, that would exacerbate this. And statistics show that a majority of the families who use vouchers were never in public schools anyway. They were attending private schools. It would just be devastating to our school system. My number one job is to support public education. This is a wonderful system that we have in place, and I want to continue that. Every trustee on the board has a responsibility to support public education. And if there is a trustee up there who is not supporting public education, they don't deserve your vote.
Thank you. Michael, what is your opinion on vouchers? And as a school board trustee, what will be your plan to have a presence, voice, and compelling message during the next legislative session?
Well, let me start out by saying that vouchers would introduce additional competition for the district. There's also already competition from charter schools. And the charter schools have been doing very well within NEISD. 10 years ago, the enrollment was in the district was about 68,000. My understanding is that currently it's around 57,000. So that's a reduction in enrollment of about 15%. And included in those numbers, included in the 57,000, are several thousand recent arrivals from the border, so that we've actually lost even more students to the existing competition. So I'm concerned that we have all these options within NEISD, these magnet programs, special programs, and yet parents seem to be taking their children out of the district. So my concern is we're not doing well with the competition that already exists. And we should be focused on making ourselves as competitive as possible. On the issue of vouchers, I'm sort of honored that the thought would be that I could decide for the state of Texas whether we'd have a voucher system. My question is, if vouchers occur, who would you rather have making decisions for the district? Someone who's concerned and focused on making the district as competitive as possible, or someone who just is concerned about saving public education?
Thank you. All right. Question number 4. Michael, this will go to you first. Recent parent concerns have highlighted the need for checks and balances in our school system. The School Health Advisory Council, or SHAC, is one group that assists in ensuring local community values are reflected in health education instruction. The question is, who is ultimately responsible for curriculum content, and do you think groups such as SHAC are a viable part of that process?
Well, the answer to the first question is pretty straightforward. The board is ultimately responsible for the curriculum that's selected. I think SHAC is an example of the way to move forward in many areas. So it's advisory, but it does not, it has to convince the board. But it's a very diverse group, because under the present arrangement, each trustee gets to appoint members of or they select members from their district to the board, so there's a diversity of opinion. As far as I'm concerned, no one knows everything. If I ever thought that, my wife disabused me of that a long time ago. But how do you make a decision on a major topic? You seek input from many different communities, and you sort through it, you debate, you argue, and you come to a conclusion. And as I said, SHAC, I think, is an example of how we can make better decisions in a wide variety of areas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Lisa, who is ultimately responsible for curriculum content, and do you think groups such as SHAC are a viable part of that process?
I absolutely appreciate the work that SHAC does. I think that parent input is incredibly important into the decisions that ISDs are making. I want an engaged community. That is why I do the work that I do. That said, every piece of curriculum that lands in our schools has been vetted by the Texas Education Agency. It has been written by publishers to meet our TEKS. It is then brought down to district specialists who have degrees in curriculum to approve and look at. We don't have much wiggle room. The state usually offers maybe 2 or 3 options for a publication for any given subject. Maybe science was a recent one. The board is responsible for ultimately approving, putting the stamp on this curriculum. However, the vetting it has been through to get to that process is hours and hours. I have served as a teacher on a curriculum review committee. I have spent countless meetings after my school hours reviewing. I have been given a set of TEKS, looking through curriculum to make sure, did it meet the needs of my ESL students? Did it meet the needs of my GT students? Did it have extension activities? These professionals have done a wonderful job making sure curriculum fits our district. And so I love the parent input as a piece of that.
Thank you. Thank you. Special interest groups have very strong opinions on the education system in Texas. So Lisa, as a school board member, how would you respond to special interest groups who advocate for censorship of existing curriculum and resources perceived by them to conflict with their personal beliefs?
It's always my belief to listen to everyone respectfully. That is very important to me. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have different experiences. But as I said, curriculum is not haphazardly landing in schools. It has been vetted, okay? Teachers have to teach the TEKS, the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, that are outlined by the state. That is not an option. Many topics in curriculum may have sensitive subjects, and parents have the option to opt in. No one is forced to participate in any piece of this. Parents have the choice to opt their child in. And I have to say about special interest groups that they are just that. They are special interest groups. We are creating a curriculum for almost 60,000 children. It would be impossible to curate a curriculum to meet the needs of every special interest group.
Thank you. Michael, as a school board member, how would you respond to special interest groups who advocate for censorship of existing curriculum and resources perceived by them to conflict with their personal beliefs?
Well, this is an example of why I decided to run for this seat. I have never seen the country so divided as it is today. And that's very concerning, I'm sure, to most of us. My big question is, how the heck do we put Humpty Dumpty back together again? How do we learn to live with each other. And one of the problems is we've gotten to be very tribal. And we each have our own sources of information. And I think we're too quick to assume the worst about the other side. So, to me, my special interest group is somebody else's group of general concern. So I think we need to, if we're going to get through this, we need to calm down, listen to each other. I think we'll find out that there's a broader middle than we imagine when we actually get down to having conversations. That being said, I agree. People are entitled to express their opinion. More information is better than less information. But again, no group gets to control the vote of the board, or shouldn't control the vote of the board. It will not control my view, my vote, but I will listen respectfully to anyone who has a strong opinion about any topic.
Thank you. Thank you. Question number 6. Charter schools continue to expand and be built within our district. So, Michael, how do you feel about the expansion of charter schools in our community, and what can NEISD do to retain these students?
That's the big question. I want to stay away from what I feel and focus on what I think. I think the charter schools are here. The reason that charter schools came into being is that there was a lot of dissatisfaction with the product of the existing public schools. So we can't directly prevent their expansion, but I would hope that we would figure out why parents are leaving the district to go to charter schools. And then when we need to have more information about why that's happening, given the variety of choices that parents have in this district, but yet so many seem to be choosing to leave. It is my understanding that there has really been no attempt to find out why people are leaving, and that concerns me as a decision-making process of the board historically. That has to change.
Thank you. Lisa, how do you feel about the expansion of charter schools in our community, and what do you believe that NEISD can do to retain these students?
Well, school choice has certainly been talked about a lot this year, and I am very proud to be a part of a district that has school choice embedded into every aspect of the district. We have 13 magnet schools that high schoolers can choose from. My own son even he knew he loved the path of engineering, and he chose to go to ETA at Roosevelt because that was his jam. And if a student wants to attend any different school, as long as there is space at that school, people in this district have school choice as to where they want to go. It's been my experience that when families leave to go to charter schools, it's because they're lacking connection with their school. And that, to me, is when PTAs, athletics, sports, fine arts, all of these things need to come and really embrace those families and engage them so that they're drawn back to our district. We have to continue to foster those partnerships with parents to make sure that they understand we want them here, we need them, and we cherish them. And we also need to really continue to share the great things that are happening in NEISD. I think sometimes there's a narrative being spun that's loud about negative things, and we are doing great things here. I have children who are taking college-level classes through the University of Texas, and they're doing an amazing job. We are doing good things. I know we need to stay competitive, and these are some of the ways that we're doing it. But I want this to be the best district for students to learn and for teachers to teach.
Thank you. Question number 7. Lisa, how do you discuss topics where there is strong disagreement and remain civil? Said another way, how can the school board work together when trustees have differing opinions?
I'm a pretty level-headed lady. I listen respectfully to what every side has to say. I am truly engaged and want to hear, because maybe there's something that someone would say that was a light bulb moment for me to kind of change my thinking or develop my thinking. But in a district that has 8,000 employees and almost 60,000 students, nothing is going to be perfect. The board is responsible as a professional group of people to sometimes agree to disagree, but the talk in public needs to be professional, and I would certainly, I am certainly a professional as a teacher and would continue that service on the board.
Thank you. Michael, how do you discuss topics where there is strong disagreement and remain civil? Said another way, how can the school board work together when trustees have differing opinions?
Well, one would hope for starters that the trustees would at least periodically have different opinions. Before 2020, when Steve Hilliard became a trustee in that election, apparently there had been 750 consecutive unanimous votes by the board. The key is, I would say, to hear, not just merely to listen. So my experience as a business lawyer, not a litigator, what was my role in representing my client? Well, generally that meant my client was trying to form some kind of relationship with somebody else that would be long-term. So we're not trying to beat the other side, we're trying to reach a common agreement that works for all parties. So I would bring that experience to the board. So once a decision is made, and ultimately a decision will be made, that is the decision of the board. Sometimes you get your way, sometimes you don't get your way. But as was mentioned, the will of the majority controls, and that becomes the policy, and you must support the policy.
Thank you. Thank you both. Question number 8. Michael, what was your level of volunteerism with NEISD before deciding to run? Please describe how you spent your time with the district and the areas that you provided support.
Well, would be a short answer, because I have had no involvement with the district. My involvement has been with the school that I was with. So I served on the critical thinking across the disciplines committee. Because to me, critical thinking skills are absolutely necessary for our students as they face their futures. I also was involved in a mentoring program at my school. I also, with my students, we were required to have a certain amount of office hours so the students could come in and see me. And I just made myself available, not quite 24/7. Everybody had my cell number to communicate with my students whenever and for whatever purpose they needed.
Thank you, sir. Lisa, what was your level of volunteerism with NEISD before deciding to run? Please describe how you spent your time with the district and the areas that you provided support.
This is easy for me to answer because I am still currently a volunteer. I still serve on the PTA at Churchill High School. Most recently, I received that Presidential Volunteer Service Award from the White House for my volunteer time in this district. That was my first time I have ever recorded my hours, but for the past 10 years, it has been that extent. When you're a PTA president, you're responsible as the leadership person for your entire community. I think I have done everything. I have supported in every possible way. I have made copies. I have tutored. I have worked at the clothes closet. I was part of getting our Churchill food pantry back into order. We're actually the largest food pantry in the district, and other campuses are modeling their programs after us. I have led parent education sessions. I have helped with fundraising. I have been a staff appreciation chair, taking care of teachers. Being at school and serving is really where I feel at home. I say all this because you asked the question, but also because I am here. I am in it. I subbed last Friday. I know I'm talking to our parents. I am talking to our communities. I am talking to our teachers. I'm still here, and I'm relevant in this volunteer community every single day.
Thank you. Final question. Lisa, how do you feel about teachers using AI to grade students' work? And should it impact grades if the district doesn't have a policy about it?
Okay. I started thinking about this question, and probably a lot of you were right there with me, that I grew up in a time where we filled in a Scantron, and then our teacher fed it through the machine, and that's how she graded it. So using technology to grade student work is not a new concept. I know AI has really taken it to this other level, and so I talked to my daughter, who is currently a Churchill Junior, and I talked to her teachers about this idea of using AI to grade. And from my understanding, they do use AI. They have a system to use AI to just simply filter student work. It's an easy way to catch plagiarism. Because of AI, they can write papers really quickly right there through ChatGPT. So teachers do this initial scan through this. But then you know what they do? They take it home on a weekend and they read and review student work. They check it. NEISD has a very clear grading policy that teachers as professionals are following. So I think that it is probably being used as a supplement, but nothing replaces a teacher's actual eyes and professionalism in putting grades on a paper.
Thank you. Michael, how do you feel about teachers using AI to grade students' work? And should it impact grades if the district doesn't have a policy about it?
What she said, but in addition, so used as some kind of filter in particular to weed out plagiarism, because there's so much technology out there, not only the chat and the other AI software that's available, but as a math teacher, there was amazing software out there where the student, if they could sneak a picture of the problem to this website, not only did it instantaneously give them the correct answer, it gave them every single step. So, as a filter, that's fine. No, we need that given the level of sophistication of cheating these days. But I agree completely that nothing replaces the teacher reviewing the work of their students.
Thank you both. Thank you. So that has concluded the questions for today's forum. So what I'd like to do now is go to closing statements. Again, each of you will have 2 minutes for your closing statement, and we're going to go in reverse alphabetical order. So Lisa, the floor is yours.
Again, thank you for having us today. I am about children. That is what I have spent my time doing. My time has been in the elementary classroom. However, I have subbed in high school and middle school. I have very relevant experience about what great things our district is doing. I do know the shortfalls we have, and I am looking forward to when I get the opportunity to be a trustee to not only highlight those awesome things that we are doing, but to really look and address some ways that we can make our district better for our students, our teachers, our families. That is my goal. I love our kids and I love our district, and we are doing great things, and I want to perpetuate that. I have 2 students of my own. One is graduated and he is off in college and he is doing amazing. There are other paths for students in our district. They don't have to just be going to college. The trades are very, very viable options. And so I want to continue to perpetuate the CTC and our ag program, just the great things, and take care of our children.
Thank you, ma'am. Michael, your 2 minutes.
Well, I appreciate this forum. This is the second time that Lisa and I have been at the same place at the same time. You're entitled. That makes it easier for the voters to be informed. That being said, the issue that I ran out of time because I talked too slow in the beginning concerns, as we all know, that there's been tremendous success, apparent success, with the number of students who graduate from high school with academic honors. When I started to look at that in more detail, I was able to calculate the average grade point average of every graduating senior in every high school in the district over the last 5 years. And the average grade for the average student was 90%, which is what you need to earn academic honors. So if those numbers are correct, that's an incredible result. But if you look at the STAR testing, which is a third-party review, and put aside for a moment the issues that virtually all of us have with the STAR test, at every grade level tested, 40% of the students were shown to be below grade level in reading, and 50% were shown to be below grade level in math, including the testing that's done in the first few years of high school. So my concern is how accurate are the grades that our students are getting, because parents are entitled to an accurate assessment of how well their students are doing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Lisa, for coming and letting us learn more about you and your views. We sincerely appreciate your willingness to engage in this group. And I'm going to turn it back over to the Northeast ISD Council of PTA's president, Debbie Weissmuller.
Thank you. Thank you to our candidates again for taking time out of your morning to speak with us. To our audience, both in person and online, thank you for your time as well. I want to remind our in-person audience that if the candidates did bring literature with them, it's available on the back table. That is being distributed by the candidates in their campaigns, not by NEISD or the Northeast ISD Council of PTAs. Early voting for the elections begins on April 22nd and ends on April 30th, with Election Day being May 4th. So we hope to see you all at the polls. PTA is a membership organization that advocates, and we do have PTAs on all 67 of our Northeast campuses. So if you'd like to get involved and engaged, please seek them out or visit joinpta.org. We hope you enjoyed our forum, and thank you for your advocacy on behalf of our nearly 60,000 students here in NEISD, because the future of Texas really is in our public schools. Thank you.